Welcome in, everyone. This is going to be the recap episode of AP Ballparks 2021 season. I will have a blog post with all of the numbers and everything tied to this also. This will be the video that goes with it. I'm also going to have this on YouTube, so welcome in if you're watching from YouTube when this is posted. I'm also going to bring up the Iowa Hawkeye football game just on the side. Not really going to sidecast it, but we'll have it up just to have the score, along with our other scores up here during college game day and everything. Not that one. We want to lock this in. Okay. So, let's go ahead and get that over here. I don't see it. Hey, O-Town, how's it going? There we go. Okay. I don't see it on that screen. Let me see if I can get this real quick to work. Maybe I need to refresh it. Looks like it's going into halftime anyway. Just gonna have it up to have it in the background. We might have to try a different window capture. There it is. Beautiful. All right. So if you are watching from YouTube, I do, during baseball season, I'm going to be doing sidecast also during games when I'm not at stadiums. So be on the lookout for that next season. Okay, that's all the farther down it'll go. That should be fine like that. Probably can't see all the little stuff. It'll be okay for now. Okay, so 2021 season. As most of you know, it was the first year of my blog that I started. So in the past, I had done quite a few. I'd gone to quite a few games and visited ballparks, and never really documented it or anything. Never really I had pictures and things and different things about the experience, but it was all like on my Facebook, and there were only, maybe a handful of people or more that were interested in it. So I started thinking I need to reach out to more, do some sort of more networking. Oh, some kind of networking more that would reach out to people that have the same interest in traveling to ballparks and those experiences. So I started on Twitch last year and during the pandemic, and there weren't any games going on at the time and things, so I got into it with MLB The Show at that time, and then from there I started looking into like what could I do for some kind of network to reach out to people interested in this, or even if it's like a certain stadium. So I started looking into blogs, and I found the one that I'm on now had its own website and everything, and that's how it all started. I'll bring up excuse me. Hey, Iceman, how's it going? I'll bring up my website also for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. So let's bring up this one. There we go. Loving Forza? I've heard good things about that game. A lot of new games out right now. But yeah, if you're watching on YouTube and are interested also, whenever I don't or whenever I'm not at the games or not talking about the games, I'm usually streaming MLB The Show or some other games. Hey, Slip, I appreciate the sub. Thank you. How's it going tonight or today? Hey, I appreciate that. By the way, anybody just joining, the birthday stream is later tonight. If you're watching on YouTube, it's right before my birthday stream. I was gonna do this the night before the stream, but things came up. I was busy at work and didn't get home early enough. So we're kind of going back to back. Not back to back, but a little break in between there before the birthday stream. So yeah, be back later tonight for that if you're in here on the live stream. I will be doing 2 giveaways, 6 prizes total. You don't have to be subbed for one of them, and the other one is a sub giveaway. So Slip is in. Appreciate the sub, thank you. Hey Mitch, how's it going? Appreciate that. We're doing the 2021 season recap. Got some crazy numbers to tell you guys today. I totaled up a ton of stuff. I spent a good 2-3 hours on Thursday night just totaling numbers, ridiculous like numbers from the season. So I can't wait to go into those and unpack all that today. But anyways, this is the website that starts out with the blog. Got the home page here that goes through all the posts. And this started out with all of my... I had pictures from prior seasons. I did like on this date a few times to start out for some of the blog posts. Just to show some of the other places I've been before. We've got Game 7, 2014 World Series, 2017 ALCS, Sal League All-Star Game in 2015, and just a whole variety of pictures here from before. Usually I have the slideshow going also with some of these on it. Not today, since we have everything used up right now for space. This is out where Mitch is at, the Charlotte Knights. Just a lot of different places. Kind of put them all together as one page here from... So these are before the 2021 season. And I've got captions with each one. There is one from 2021, and this one. The Hawkeye game. So, we've got that, and then this was before the season. I talked about a few things that started the website and how that all got started. We've got the travel map, which is what I have up on the screen under this. Kind of in more of a full screen form with zoomed in a little better. Since that's like one of the main things we're talking about today. But yeah, I recommend going through that if you haven't, if you're interested in it. Chatbot is not working. Nope, chatbot is not working right now. Let me get that fixed real quick. Should be a simple simple little sign-on thing. There we go, connect. It does this occasionally to me. Once I get this going, we'll have the... Well, I can just do this too, for now. Oops. Typed way too fast for it. Alright, now we should be good to go on the chat bot. There we go. Alright, we're good now. So, now that we've got that going, I'm going to take this window down. We've got our fancy map up here. Every icon is a ballpark on this one. So I did have 2 trips that were non-baseball trips that are on this map, but not the picture right now. I zoomed it in so those 2 places weren't on there. But they are in the same states as where I had been to Ballparks also. So, let's go into some big numbers here. Let's go through each state first. So in the state of Iowa, I've visited 6 ballparks. South Dakota was 1. Illinois, we had 5. Indiana, there were 3 ballparks. Missouri, 2. 1 in Arkansas. 1 in Georgia. 1 in Texas. And 3 in Wisconsin. So total, that is 23 ballparks. Hey, Coach Parker, how's it going? By the way, anyone that's interested, Sunday night we are gonna build Coach Parker's stadium. Should be a good one. I've looked into a couple ideas. Most of it is gonna be on the fly, but it's gonna be a good time. And I do plan on making a YouTube video also with all the community ballparks, or ballparks from people in the community. So once we get Mitch's stadium done, then once we get Mitch's stadium done, then we'll be able to make a video with all of them together. Is Neil in here? Oh man, I still haven't said anything about that, Kiwi. How are you guys doing today, though? By the way, anybody just joining, tonight, midnight Central Time, there will be a giveaway, 2 giveaways. One for non-subs and one for subs. We'll have all that coming up. The stream will start before midnight, though. I'm gonna... After this stream, I'll probably take a little break and then kind of get things ready for tonight. It's gonna be a lot of stuff, so it's gonna be a good time. Maybe my goal is tonight for it to be the place to be, so we'll see how it goes. Oh, going to the championship. Nice. Hey, congratulations, Coach Parker. Yeah, bring it home. Bring home the ship. So, we're going into numbers right now from the blog. So I was at a total of 23 ballparks this year throughout the summer. One thing I wanted to look at was what the dates were. So I started on, I want to say it was the 15th of May. Let me make sure on that one. Yeah, Arkansas Travelers. Because I actually started out in Little Rock when I went to visit a friend of mine in May. That was my, well, actually, no, we started in April. But I'm going to talk about, besides the Iowa baseball game, when we started traveling and stuff. Yeah, so August 15th, it was the second week of minor league baseball. And, oh, there we go. We went until the 16th of October, so about 6 months, give or take. Somewhere in there. That was within about 6 months, 23 ballparks. We had a nice little balance there. There were a couple of them we went to, well, especially here at home, I went to multiple games. I don't think anywhere else I was at multiple games, though. Here at home we were, though. So, within the states, we just went through all this, but for anybody just joining, 6 in Iowa, 1 in South Dakota, 5 in Illinois, 3 in Indiana, 2 in Missouri, 1 Arkansas, 1 Georgia, 1 in Texas, and 3 in Wisconsin. And with that 1 in Texas, I also went to the football game, too. Since there's a post with that also in there. The last Cowboys preseason game. So I went ahead and I went through on the map to each place you see on here. And minus 2 of them, which are Dallas and Little Rock. I went through and totaled the miles of each trip. I did okay, so the way I did this was I went through every single game and I put in from home to the ballpark where it was, like how far it was, and then how I did those trips. So there were a couple trips where I stayed the night and went to another ballpark. And those I did from where I was the night before to where I was going that day. And then also I did from that ballpark to home then. So I did it in the way that I drove it. if that makes sense. So, total driven miles were 7,254. And then I also did the total with the flights, just for total number traveled. And that was 10,338. That was with the flights. I didn't really count those since I didn't drive those, but so the big number was 7,254. That was total driven down, and then wherever I was and back. So then I was curious, how many miles did I save by not going home and then coming back to certain places? So we'll say like Sioux City and Sioux Falls up here on the top left on the map. That's like a 5-hour drive or 6 hours to there from my house. So I stayed the night in Sioux City, went up to Sioux Falls, and then drove home. That saved me about 400 miles, combining some of those trips on the season. So we went through, we drove to 9 states, went through all that already. Total states, there were 11 of them with the flights, or with the ones that I flew to. Hey, Yankees, appreciate the sub. Thank you. How's it going? I appreciate that. By the way, birthday stream tonight. I'm just gonna keep anytime somebody new comes in, birthday stream and giveaway later tonight. Appreciate that sub though. Thank you. The resub. You already got the 3-month badge. I forget what color that is. Let's see. It's I think it's the light blue. Hey, thank you, Coach Parker. I appreciate that. It's technically on Monday, but we're gonna celebrate tonight with 2 giveaways. So anybody just joining, we're just going through the numbers and of all the miles. 7,254 was the total driven miles. Total altogether, including flying, was 10,338 approximately. We visited 11 states, including the ones that were flown to. 23 total ballparks. And they're all up here on the map. So, total leagues that I visited. This was kind of an interesting stat. One of the things I suggest with traveling to ballparks is get some variety. Don't just stick with one league or one Cliff from Neil, right? So, one thing I would suggest is don't stick to one level of baseball. Get some variety out there. Different teams, different leagues, different stadiums, different style of the game. For me, I'm not too crazy about college baseball, but I wanted to go out and see some different college baseball, see if I could get into it a little bit better, and it was okay. I'm still a huge fan of professional baseball, more just the style of the game, but to see those different atmospheres and some other things about it, that's important to me. So total, I saw 10 different leagues, and I'll break it down a little bit. So I went to games in the American Association, which I think that was probably the league that I saw the most. I really got attached to them early and got into that. By the way, speaking of American Association, I gotta show you guys. I have a jersey on today. Got this for my birthday, actually. Let's see, this screen? Yeah, this one will work. This is Kansas City Monarchs jersey. They were the 2021 champions of the American Association. That's their logo there also. They did a rebrand. Used to be the Kansas City T-Bones. They rebranded and then won it all their first year with the rebrand. So I really wanted a jersey from their team. I usually don't sport one team or anything like that. I'm usually pretty neutral. But if certain teams have, things, especially like that represent baseball well, I'll get into those things, or I'll buy things like that and wear them. Especially like patriotic things too. But 10 total leagues, American Association, the High A Central, Double A Central. These are all minor league baseball now. They changed the names of their divisions. Oh yeah, definitely great history. And that's what they wanted to bring back also when they did the rebrand. When I saw like everything with it, I was like, I'm definitely getting one of those jerseys. But yeah, so High A Central was used to be the Midwest League. They just changed the names of them. Double A Central would have been the Texas League. MLB, obviously, with the playoff games, the Field of Dreams game. The Frontier League, which is independent league, went to Evansville, Indiana. That's where I saw the one Frontier League team or game. The Northwoods League, that was up in Madison, Wisconsin. NCAA Division I, that was the Iowa Hawkeyes game. The Prospect League, which is D1 college, went to a few games for them since my hometown team switched to them. They were one of the teams that was cut from the contraction with MLB. No, I didn't go to that one. I did go to the Travelers, though, in Little Rock, the Arkansas Travelers. That was the only place in Arkansas I'd been, though. I really enjoyed that trip, too, to Little Rock. I did want to go to Memphis, but it didn't work out because of COVID stuff. My friend lives in Arkansas, and we were going to meet in Memphis, but that trip didn't work out because he's in the military, and they weren't allowing them to go out of state at the time. So we had to push that one back. That's another thing I was going to talk about also later on. It's kind of towards the bottom. 2022 places that I want to visit. I have seen the Naturals play, though, when they were in Frisco a few years back when I worked there. So we visited 10 total leagues this year. That's a really good variety of different levels of baseball. See a lot of different things. The game played different ways. So then I started... Hey, Holly with the sub. Thank you. I appreciate that. How's it going? So, then I started thinking about it on all the different teams that I saw that were championship teams. We're just going through a few numbers right now with the the blog from this year. So the big numbers were 7,254 total driven miles, 10,338 including flights. Drove through 9 different states, 11 including the flights. All clean with the haircut. Had to get that the other night. Drove through 9 different states, 11 total, 23 total ballparks this year. Just real quick breakdown for anybody that just joined. 6 in Iowa, 1 in South Dakota, 5 in Illinois, 3 in Indiana, 2 in Missouri, 1 in Arkansas, 1 in Georgia, 1 in Texas, and 3 in Wisconsin. Not used to without the red glow. Yeah, I went with the white lights for sports. I do it a little bit differently when I'm gaming compared to sports. That way it's a little more clear. I'm going to put this up on YouTube also for anyone interested, and on my blog also. That's why I have alerts off also, and the emotes off, all that stuff. I appreciate all the subs though. Thank you, everyone. Be sure to hang out tonight around midnight Central Time. There will be 2 giveaways. One for non-subs and one for subs. There will be 6 total winners of different things. It'll be marbles on stream, so it'll be a pretty good time. I'll take a little break between this stream and the next one when I do that, but yeah, we'll start a little sooner, or probably quite a bit sooner than when the giveaway starts. It says, send a message to thank Major League Mike for the Twitch drop. So Mike, if you're in here, I appreciate the Twitch drop. I hope I actually get my packs this time. Alright, so we were talking about yeah, so we're talking about cool little stats. There are a lot of crazy stats in there. 10 total leagues watched. I was recommending different leagues for anyone interested in seeing a lot of different baseball. So yeah, it definitely is good to see some variety, because especially like right now with the CBA talks, if something happens with that, and MLB is out, people are going to feel like baseball is just not happening, and it's not true, especially once you hit May. There's a ton of baseball out there. Even right now, there's winter ball. Albert Pujols is playing even in it. So I highly recommend that. We talked about that on Monday night, or yeah, I think Monday night. Either Monday or Sunday I had that episode. And we talked about there's still baseball going on right now. So it's definitely good to get some variety, get used to the different styles of baseball. Especially someone like me that doesn't really get into other sports too much. I do enjoy other sports, but definitely baseball the most. If I get an MLB drop, can I give it to someone? I think it goes directly with your Twitch account and your PSN. So there were some other really cool little stats in there. We saw the World Series champion Atlanta Braves, but not only that, this is when I started looking into this stat. So not only did I see the World Series champions when I went to the Braves game, but when I was in Texas in August, I saw the Astros also. So I actually saw both World Series teams this year. I completely forgot about it. They were playing them that night. There was so much going on that weekend when I went. But then I started thinking about all the other champions teams that I saw. I'm still fighting this little cough a little bit that I had last week. Weather really changed quick, so it still happens here and there. But so then I started thinking about the other championship teams that I've seen. I actually saw quite a few. Go Buckeyes! Speaking of Buckeyes, I think Donnie was sidecasting that game. I've got Iowa and Minnesota going on in the side here. Looks like they're up by 4 right now. The Hawkeyes are. But besides the World Series champions, I started thinking about it. I saw, this is just a crazy stat right now. I actually don't even have the total number. But this is just insane. So not only the World Series, we saw 7 total MLB playoff teams. I mean, obviously with going to multiple playoff games that helped. But it was the Braves, the Dodgers, the Astros, the Brewers, and then I saw the Yankees, the White Sox, and the Cardinals. So those were all 7 playoff teams. And then I really got into the numbers though with all the championship teams and other leagues. So I saw the Prospect League champions. That was Cape Girardeau, the Cape Catfish. Their manager is actually Barry Larkin's brother. I saw them when they eliminated my hometown team when I drove to Cape Girardeau from home that day. It was about a 6-hour drive. That's when I went to St. Louis also. The American Association champions, I saw them in Rosemont at the Chicago Dogs game. They actually got, it was a pretty lopsided win for the Dogs that day. But Kansas City Monarchs, they just came out and dominated the playoffs. It was crazy. And that's the team that I have the jersey on right now for. The High A Central, that was the Quad City River Bandits. That was the game close to home. They had one round of the playoffs this year. So they just played one 5-game series. The series went 5 games and they won. I watched the walk-off home run in Game 4 though. The Double A Central. Wait. No, that's leagues visited. I'm sorry. The American Association High A Central. The Frontier League champions. So when I went to Evansville, that was a crazy rainout game. That was just well, it was a rainout on Saturday, and then I had planned on going to the other League of Their Own stadium on that Sunday. And we're gonna quite a few of these, probably all these games, we're gonna break down like each little thing about the trips at some point this off season also. So definitely looking forward to that, but I'll go into a little detail of it. In Evansville, it rained out on Saturday. I was able to take pictures, be at the stadium though for a good couple hours. Just wasn't a game. And then Sunday was a doubleheader, but I had already planned another stadium Sunday. So what I did was I went to part of Game 1 and Then went to game 2, or didn't go to game 2. Went to the other game after that, the other stadium. What we got? Oh, I've been to the Knights Stadium before, Yankees. Check this out. I actually just had this up earlier. Bring up. Why is this not working? Unable to handle the request. Well, let's start handling it then. Not with us. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I gotta go with you guys. Definitely. I would love to go to Charlotte sometime. Actually, the night I went to the Charlotte Knights game, they had the guy from what's it called? The motorcycle show. They had Paul there. Orange County Choppers. He was there. I don't know why my website isn't working right now. It's not letting me bring it up. Oh man, that would be fun. Grab a game up there. I'll have to see. I do want to go to some games in Canada. I've got a couple on my radar. Obviously, Toronto is one of them. Let me see if I can find that baseball quick from Charlotte. I think I have it up here. Sure do. Right into downtown? Oh man. That would be a blast. You got to see what that was about last night too. So this is the Kansas City Monarchs jersey. It's got their logo here on the side. And then this is from Charlotte Knights game back in 2015. And then they were the sponsor of the signing also. The autograph signing by the Orange County Chopper guy. I want to try and get those pictures up again. I don't know why it's not working. Try it this way. Still isn't working. I don't know why it's unable to handle the request. Yeah, it's weird. The website's not working. I'll try it with a different browser. This page isn't working. Huh. Did I not pay the bill or something right in the middle of the show? It's kind of strange. Oh, gonna host some games. That would be a great time. The thing about Charlotte is they're a big airport for American also. And I have flight credit for them right now. Yeah, I can't get my website to work for some reason right now. I promise it's not always broken. It's probably something to do with my browser or something. But if you go into the Photos tab on my website, it has the Charlotte Knights pictures, though, from their stadium. Yeah, American Airlines. What was I gonna do? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I spaced. So, we were talking about Evansville. Oh, he works for American? Nice. Yeah, that's a good airline, definitely. It's one of my favorite airlines. Let's see. So, Yeah, we were talking about Evansville. So Evansville was playing against Schaumburg that day. The Schaumburg Boomers. So they were the Frontier League champions. And when I was just going through this, I was like, wow, that's a lot of champions we've seen, including the World Series champions. So I went into it even more. And I realized, let's see, they're called, I always forget, Du Bois County Bombers is what they're called. Because it's different from their website. Their website is dcbombers.com that has their stadium on it. Du Bois County Bombers. They're the Ohio Valley League champions. So in total, we saw six league champions this year, including the World Series champions. Another cool stat was, so we get you in quick? Yeah, that would be great. I'd be completely alright with that. Another cool thing, saw the first MLB game in the state of Iowa, which is my home state. Which was the very first Field of Dreams game. So I'm so happy that I bought the ticket that day, because I was sitting. If you guys don't know the story, for the Field of Dreams game, I was sitting in McDonald's parking lot with my phone just hitting refresh constantly to see if the prices go down at all on tickets. And one of them dropped low enough to where I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this and deal with the rest of it later. Usually I'm a planner when it comes to my tickets and stuff, but I was sitting here so undecided about if I wanted to go to that Field of Dreams game or not. And that whole story is in the blog post also. That's my featured post. Definitely recommend that. Of all of my blog posts, I recommend that one and the video. The video is great. It has so much footage from that game. But yeah, that was the very first MLB game in my home state of Iowa. The very first Field of Dreams game. We thought it was going to be the only game until they announced that they're going to have another one next year, which is the Cubs and Reds. But there's nothing like the first one. It was an unbelievable game. And some really good footage from there. Hey, Beards, how's it going? Would love to come down, crossing my finger next year down, the easy part. Oh, yeah. That's the other thing about it, too. There's a team in Winnipeg that I would love to see also. But like you're saying, it's kind of tough right now with the whole deal with all the other stuff going on, getting into Canada. The longest streak of games in a row was 3, and I did that on a work weekend. That was one of the first trips of the year. I went to Normal, Illinois, and then down to Springfield, Illinois on Sunday. That was a really good trip too. We're gonna go into all of them at some point, but that one I did a lot of non-baseball things that were really interesting too. That's yeah, we'll go into that another time. But I'll just say, like, that's the capital of Illinois, and there's a lot of stuff with Abraham Lincoln there. His library's there, and all kinds of things that we'll go into another time. But went to Normal, Illinois Saturday, Springfield on Sunday. I drove home back up to Iowa. It was about 3.5 hours or so. And then the next day, on that Monday, I drove over to Kane County. So that was the longest streak of games in a row, which was 3. I would have tied that if I hadn't stayed up till 7 o'clock in the morning, working on my blog, the night of the Field of Dreams game, but I felt that it was extremely important to get all of that footage and blog post put together that night, and that was just a really long day. I think I was up for 20 hours straight on the Field of Dreams day, so otherwise I would have had 3 games in a row there too, because I had ended up going to 2 games later that weekend. Are these all the stadiums you've been to? This year, yes. So, yeah, anybody just joining? I'll go back through the numbers again, just to help anyone catch up that wasn't here. So we went through total driven miles with 7,254. Total together with flying, 10,338 approximately. 9 total states driven, 11 total including flights. 23 total ballparks with 6 in Iowa, 1 in South Dakota, 5 Illinois, 3 in Indiana, 2 in Missouri, 1 in Arkansas, 1 in Georgia, 1 in Texas, and 3 in Wisconsin. And that's a total of 23 ballparks within about 6 months. We visited 10 total leagues. Saw, let's see. 6. So out of those 10 leagues, we saw 6 championship teams. We saw the first MLB game in the state of Iowa, which was the Field of Dreams game. And then that's where we're at now. Okay. Top 5 I haven't been to. That I'm not sure, but I do have a list of 2022 teams that I want to go through at the bottom of the list today. So we will go into some more to be on the lookout for next year that I know of right now without any schedules yet. American Association released their schedule this week, but I gotta wait for these other summer college leagues also. So what I do is I'll probably start the year with MLB games. This year I did not do that because it kind of took me a while to get back into going to MLB games. It was really the Field of Dreams game that started that. Well, I guess I went to St. Louis earlier that week, but it wasn't really the same type of way. Just with the contraction and things, I didn't feel... I kind of had an opinion on it all, and it kind of kept me from going to games and doing the thing I enjoyed more. But I had to realize, like, the only person that's going to hurt is me by doing that. So, and I mean, what am I proving by not going? So I can still have the opinion or whatever, but can still go to the games too. So that's kind of in a nutshell. But we'll probably start with MLB games coming up. Also NCAA. I'll probably try and go to a couple D1 games early in the spring. And then once college summer hits, things get a little bit different. That's when I'll start mixing things in, mixing trips in. Hey, Clyde, appreciate the follow. Welcome in. How's it going? Yeah, once the college summer starts, that really brings in more teams and more places to go to. So when the summer months hit, that's really what I focus on for the most part. But we'll have a good balance. Good balance of off weekends also, where I'll be streaming and hanging out. I really the biggest thing about this year that I learned was how to balance the schedule, and that was pretty important. Um, hey, that's good. Are you a baseball fan? Um, we're going through season recap of my blog website. I'll put that up here. I was having some issues with getting my website to open up earlier. I'll see if it. Oh, it's working now. Okay, we're good. Hold on, what in the world? Okay, so something's not working. Not that one. You guys can see who I'm lurking right now for drops. There we go. Hey, that's good. What's your who's your favorite team? There we go. I'm trying to get my Twitch drops for MLB The Show. I was getting them from Mike earlier. But here we go. So this is my blog site. We travel to a lot of oh, you come from Grit. Okay, welcome in. Yeah, you saw I was lurking on Donnie there too. Donnie's a great guy. The leader of Grit Gaming. If anyone wants to join Grit Gaming, let me know. It's a very open group with the stream team. A lot of good people. Let me see if I can zoom it in a little more. Got a 1-point game in Iowa City right now. Alright, so earlier I was trying to get this to work for Yankees. There we go. So these are this photo section is from before 2021. So these are all the games I was at before I started blogging about them. And here is Charlotte from 2015. Now, if you ask me, that looks like the big city template on Stadium Creator. With that big building there. So, that is from the Charlotte Knights game. But, oh, you're a Braves fan? Nice. Congratulations on the World Series win. I was at game 1 of the NLCS. I actually have a little blog post from that. If you're interested. Going through Truist Park. Some of these, I mean, this is as real as it gets. 2011, that was the BlackBerry phone right there. Can't get more IRL than the BlackBerry phone pictures. Miller Park when it was Miller Park. And that's Dell Diamond. That's Round Rock, Texas. But yeah, those are the old pictures. So let's see. So we talked about the longest streak of games on a weekend. This is, by the way, Clyde, this is a 2021 season recap episode that we're doing. Where I put a bunch of numbers together. Oh, I missed a message up here. I was at the gym earlier. Politely asked coach working there to bring me a dumbbell. Get it yourself. Don't know the word in English, but Maybe it wasn't his job to bring me something? Huh, interesting. Yeah, I don't know about that one with weightlifting. So, we had, okay, we said 3 games was the longest streak in one weekend, and that was a work weekend. The thing that made that possible also was there weren't too many miles between it. A lot of these I was going a long distance and then came back on Sunday and just rested on Mondays because I work Tuesday to Friday, which is also what made a lot of this possible this year was my new work schedule. So, let's see. So we had one extra innings game. And the extra innings game was my second game of the year. And it was a 14 inning game in Gary, Indiana. And it was a pretty wild game. They do the old extra innings rule where you don't have the runner on second, and they have intentional walks are the old way. So that was a defining moment in this season with finding a league that was the best fit for me with the type of baseball I love to watch. Because there's so many new things going on in the game these days, and that was refreshing for me to see old baseball in that way, and how much of a grind it is. How much those teams travel, I really respect that. With how hard they play to try and get back into affiliated baseball. And Tyler Madzik played in that league just a few years ago. So definitely, that's going to be another episode where we talk about all those different things. And the importance of independent baseball also. So we'll get into all that. But my one extra innings game was in Gary, Indiana. 14 inning game, second game of the year. You gonna take any vacation time this year? So I did I took a whole week for the week of the Field of Dreams game. That's when I went to Missouri and then the Field of Dreams game, and then Milwaukee and Chicago were all in on that. So we hit 5 stadiums that week. Let's see. There was I haven't taken my other week yet, I don't think. And then I've got some like single days and stuff too. I just hit 5 years at my job, so got a few extra days. They did them as individual days this year, but the 4-day work week definitely helps during the season. Let's see. So, Fort Wayne, Indiana. I don't think I've been to that one. I know South Bend has one also. I'm guessing it's it'd be the Tin Caps. They're the I would have said the Midwest League, but that is not existent anymore. The High Ace Central, Parkview Field. Yeah, we're gonna get into some things on the radar here pretty soon for 2022. So there were 6 walk-off wins. I'll see if I can remember exactly. I know the Quad Cities had one. The Field of Dreams obviously was one. Game 1 of the NLCS. The Gary, Indiana game was a walk-off. And then Quincy, Illinois was one. And then one in Clinton which was the last game of... No, wait. Not that. Yeah. The last game of the year. So those were my my 6 walk-off wins that I saw. Gorgeous field. Parkview Field. Oh yeah, that looks like a good... Is that the one with the apartments? Yeah, it is. I have heard about that one. They got the apartments right up to them. Reminds me of Greenville a little bit. Greenville, South Carolina. They've got the apartment building. That's back behind the Green Monster, though. Yankees, that's another good stadium, or anybody around Charlotte that I highly recommend you guys visiting, is Fluor Field in Greenville. Favorite game? It had to be the NLCS Game 1. That had to be number 2. So here's a crazy stat, and some of this I had to estimate, so it's approximate. I was able to get a lot of box scores except for 2 or 3 games that had this stat that I had to really dig for, and I had to do my best estimating on some of it. So some of this is rounded a little bit, but approximately time watched in games was around, we're going to say around, because that's about all the more accurate we can get. 77 hours and 26 minutes, approximately. I would say maybe within 2 hours of that. Probably got within 77 hours and 26 minutes. So that's quite a stat there. They are tied there in that game. Let's make sure this is refreshing. 24-16 Hawkeyes now. Hey, Giggities, appreciate the biddies. Thank you. Hey, by the way, anybody just joining, giveaway is tonight and the giveaway part will be at midnight, but I'm planning to start stream before that. So be sure to be here for the giveaway and the other fun. There's going to be a lot of fun tonight. So definitely get my moonshine ready tonight. Oh yeah, might need that. Hey, Kiwi, are you still in here? I think we got to tell Beards about the other night. The dude messed up your name. Oh, somebody messed up Giggity's name? So, I'll go through some stats real quick again. We'll go through all the numbers, just in case if anyone's just joining. Oh. Hey, Kiwi, so, Beards was... Or, I don't think Beards was in on that, but I know Giggity's was. Someone replaced Retro? We gotta tell... Kiwi, we gotta tell them about, the Scribble game the other night. When there was a mystery player. So we were hanging out in Discord the other night. And we were playing Scribble, which is kind of like you draw something and guess what they're trying to say. And yeah, we'll probably play that tonight. Neo's friends with Cliff. So you have like a link where you click the link and you go in and you play the game or whatever. It's like your lobby. And So we had a couple random players in there, and some guy named Neil was in there. And lo and behold, the next day we found out that Kiwi was Neil. Yeah, and my guy's name is Cliff, just because it was the default name. It was hilarious, though. Kiwi was just in there trolling us the whole time. Yeah, how was the game last night, by the way? The Hornets game. That arena looks awesome. Yeah, I've seen the outside of that arena, but I've never been in it. I've always wanted to go to a game there. So, anybody just joining? We went through some numbers on the season. There were some crazy numbers here. When I was adding all this up on Thursday night, it took me a good couple to a few hours. 2 to 3 hours, we'll say. Just putting every single thing in. So when I did the map, I saw Cliff and thought Neil was the type of person to be friends with Cliff. That's true. Yeah, Cliff and Neil, that would, that fits. Hey, Venom, 500 biddies, thank you. Appreciate that, Venom. We're going to be doing a giveaway tonight. So, anybody just joining, be sure to be here around midnight Central. We'll do the giveaway. Going to do a little birthday celebration also. Hey, I really appreciate that, Venom. Thank you. So we're just doing a recap right now on 2021 season for the blog. This map you see up here are all the places that I visited and went to games at. So just real quick, we'll go through some numbers. Total driven miles were 7,254. Total with flights was 10,338. Drove through 9 states. 11 total states. 23 total ballparks. So we had 6 in Iowa, 1 South Dakota, 5 Illinois, 3 Indiana, 2 Missouri, 1 Arkansas, 1 Georgia, 1 Texas, and 3 in Wisconsin. Visited a total of 10 leagues. Saw 7 MLB playoff teams. This is the one I don't have the total number, so I gotta do the math in my head. So, 6 league champions this year. Those leagues were MLB, the World Series. We saw Prospect League, High A Central, American Association, Frontier League, and Ohio Valley League, all league champions in games that I had visited. So that's kind of a crazy stat there. 7 MLB playoff teams. Saw the first MLB game in Iowa. Longest streak of games was 3 in a row. That was on a work weekend. One of the first weekends of the year. Saw 6 walk-off wins. Approximately 77 hours. I would say that's within 2 hours of time watched in games. Your boys get a good dub, no? Oh, they lost? That kind of shakes up the rankings then, doesn't it? I think Georgia was like a lock for number 1 for a while there. So there's no undefeated teams anymore then? Who had the most comfy seats? That's a good question. I never rated them by comfort level, I guess you could say. Didn't even want to play, but it threw me in there and I had to work, so I didn't. That's awesome. Doing FIFA homework? Need that info next season. Yeah, we'll have to get that info. Most of them have like the same chair, I feel like. So with all of those numbers named off and everything, let's talk about. So I think the other one is let's get that real quick. Truist Park. Excuse me. So the longest trip traveled to a stadium was obviously Truist Park, which was 793 miles one way. So that accounted for a lot of those miles that we talked about earlier. Almost 800 miles each way. So that was the longest traveled trip to a stadium. So let's talk about 2022. What do I have in mind, and where do I want to go to? So 2022 is expected to be another big year for me. As long as my schedule stays good and everything. Yeah, we're gonna make sure to meet up with Giggity somewhere along the way too. That was another one I wanted to write in. Yeah. Should have last year, absolutely. We got time next year for it though, absolutely. Yeah, Coach Parker's going to the championship next weekend. Hopefully he takes the hardware. By the way, Coach Parker's stadium will be created tomorrow night on stream. I'm not sure on a time yet. I'm going to a hockey game at 3, and we'll have to see when I get home. But planning on it tomorrow night. Got some pretty cool things planned out. Most of it is going to be on the fly. I've got a couple ideas that I've been looking into, but should be a good time for sure. I'm gonna get pretty creative on a couple things with it, and then from there we're gonna let it all happen. Anyone that has had a stadium created by me, I am gonna put all the community stadiums is what I'm calling them. I am gonna put them all into one video with the builds. Oh, I'll be all right. When I go to the hockey game, I'll eat some popcorn and some greasy stuff and walk it off. We'll be good to go. Yeah, I'm excited. Coach Parker gave me some good ideas, so we're going to put those ideas on paper. Or not on paper, but on the game, we'll say. So in 2022, the very first thing I want to do is something that I wanted to do in 2020 that never happened, and 2021 was kind of different, so it didn't happen then either. I gave my little talk about my stance on MLB stuff earlier in the year compared to what all changed. So let's see. Let me zoom this. So there, we're good. So the very first thing I want to do next year is something I've had a goal to do for a couple years now. I want to go to my very first opening day game. I have the days off. I had them off this year, but I took them again next year because we bid from June until the next June. So I have those days off. They're already planned. Along with the end of April, I have a couple days. So I want to go to opening day. I need to find. I've seen the schedules out. I've looked at a few things. I need to ask myself, do I want to freeze or do I want to go where it's nice out and fly somewhere? I want to do it in a way where we have an opening weekend though. Go to Yankee Stadium? Gotta go to Yankee Stadium? Oh, I definitely want to sometime. I don't think they're at home that weekend when I looked into it, but somewhere, whether it's around here or wherever, opening day, I definitely want to go to at least one game that weekend, maybe a couple. Another trip on my radar is this was another one in 2020 that I didn't do. PNC is a must. Yeah, I definitely want to go to PNC. Actually, I think Pittsburgh might be at home that weekend. I bet Yankee Stadium would be cool because of all the legends and everything. Like all the when they bring everyone in. I've seen that when the Braves had their home opener. I want to do like the very first opening day though, where tickets are more expensive for the first game no matter where you go, just because it's the first one, and just experience that once. Alright, so another place in 2020 that I was gonna go to that I didn't get to with, obviously with everything in the world, was Braves ring ceremony. That's true. That's another good one. So the other place I wanted to go was Cincinnati. So Cincinnati is on my radar for next year. When I try to do that trip, I also want to put I want to get a AAA game in, whether it's Louisville or Indianapolis. I'm leaning more towards Indianapolis, the Pirates AAA team. Tell Hank you hit that home run. That's true. I'll have to tell him I hit it at Kiwi Castle also. But yeah, Cincinnati, and I would say probably Indianapolis. They're within reason of each other. Oh yeah, definitely Giggities. Oh, I scored another Twitch drop. Let's go. Hey, Lurk is love, but it also gets you packs if they show up. So, yeah, so earlier, Giggities, I was saying, that was something pretty important I wanted to, talk about. I talked about it earlier in the stream. Like, the importance of seeing a variety of baseball. Where, instead of sticking to one level, just MLB or whatever, I visited 10 different leagues last year, or this year. So, I got a lot of variety of baseball, the way the game is played different, you know, just a lot of different things. I'm not too big with college baseball, but, we went to, quite a few D1, college games, or summer leagues, I guess. Just try to get into it that way. At least see the atmosphere of different stadiums in that way. Independent league is another big one. I'm a huge fan of professional baseball, so I found a really good fit with independent baseball this year. Just the style of the game, it's not so analytic driven. It's kind of the old minor league baseball grind that wasn't too long ago. All that different stuff. So yeah, that was a big thing. I mentioned that earlier, so I just wanted to bring that up again. I do plan on going more in depth than that in another episode later this off season. Let's see. Okay, so this was a big one. with the jersey I have on. If you haven't seen it yet, we'll go back into it. I gotta wear this down to Kansas City next year and go to a Kansas City Monarchs game. The American Association champions of 2021. They dominated it. So yeah, I've got to go down there next season. I was trying to get down there for a playoff game this year, and it just didn't quite work out. Sometimes you got to balance the schedule. You got to stay home. Sometimes you got to save money one weekend to try and do another. All that different stuff. I'm going to talk about that kind of stuff too at some point. Like saving money, balancing, not like financial advice, but like how I balance things out for each trip like that. To try and make it to more places and kind of pick and choose what games I'm going to go to. If that makes sense. So, let's see. So that was the Kansas City Monarchs. Definitely want to make it to one of those. And in the same weekend, I want to go to a Royals game. Just to get some new pictures of Kauffman Stadium. That's a great stadium to visit. It's a blast out there. Really nice stadium. One of my favorites. It was great seeing it in 2014 when I went there and tailgated in 2014 for Game 7. Another trip I wanted to do this year that I didn't make it to for the same reasons, just balancing out. The Omaha Storm Chasers and Lincoln Salt Dogs in one weekend. I was going to do that on Labor Day weekend this year, and I think I stayed home instead. Kind of balanced it out a little bit. It was kind of a crazy month of August. The Field of Dreams game really mixed things up in August and September. Oh yeah, Camden. I've been to... been there. Visit. Moving to Charlotte, needs some help. Come down. Oh yeah, we're gonna try and hit Charlotte next year too with Yankees. If you guys plan that, I'm in. Yeah, so Omaha and Lincoln, they're pretty close together. Basically one side and then the other side. Lincoln is another American Association team that they just missed the playoffs within like the same 5 minutes of another team making it. It was like one team had to lose, the other had to win, and it all happened within the same couple minutes. But they play the same place as Nebraska. Lincoln does. But there's a AAA team there too. So planning on doing that in a weekend. That's about 5-6 hours away. Same type of thing. So one field I have not made it to is Target Field, Minnesota Twins. I love Minneapolis, especially like the Mall of America and all that. They got an awesome casino down there or up there that I enjoy going to. Lot to do around there. It's one of my favorite spots for 3-day weekends. So I'm hoping to make it there next year. We'll see what happens. And then also the St. Paul Saints. They're now the Twins AAA affiliate. They used to be an American Association team. Another one, and Giggities might be interested in this one. the Schaumburg Boomers. They're a couple hours away in Chicago area. They're a Frontier League team. Yeah, we'll probably make it out there for maybe a Sunday game, or we'll see what happens. And then also another one is the Windy City Thunderbolts. They're also Frontier League. I've been to Joliet before, so I'm not as interested in visiting that one right away as much as these two. It's been about 10 years, but I want to see these other two Frontier League stadiums first before going back there again. Fenway, yeah, definitely. I want to, man, if they make like the ALDS again or something, I would love to go to Fenway, do like a weekend deal. New shake from Arby's. I was watching, you just made me think of something. I was watching Taco's VOD from the other day because I wanted to see how the intro screen turned out. And I was just sitting around like playing the show or something, and it came up like with the rest of the VOD or whatever while I was playing, and I heard you guys were talking about some kind of alcoholic drink that was like Arby's curly fries or something. You just made me think of that with the Arby's thing. But anyways, another stadium. This is a brand new stadium in Wisconsin. This is gonna be kind of northwest of Milwaukee a little bit. The team is called the Lake Country Dockhounds. Don't ask me the name of the city because I have no clue how to say it. And I want to go there on their opening weekend. I want to go see their new stadium right when it opens up. They're going to have a Friday night game and then Saturday night. So, and I think a Sunday game also, but I'll probably go on Saturday night. And we'll see if anyone else is playing that weekend in the area or Chicago area. See if we can put something together there. I want to go see more Prospect League teams. Just because that's the league that my home team is in now. They're now a Prospect League team. Two of them that I was going to go to last year, I'm going to try and do it this year instead. I took that trip out because I added a trip to Cape Girardeau, Missouri, in St. Louis when my team made the playoffs. So we took this one out when that kind of started shaping and everything. Something came up like a couple weeks before that too, that caused me to move that trip out. So I want to go to O'Fallon, Missouri, and Alton, Illinois. I think that's how you say it. The River Dragons. They're just north of St. Louis in Illinois, though. And O'Fallon's just west of St. Louis. So it's kind of between... St. Louis is kind of in between those two teams. I would like to go to a couple games there. So, another one that I have in mind... Eau Claire, Wisconsin, Eau Claire Express, and Duluth Huskies. Those are both way up north. Farther up than where the map is right now in Wisconsin and Minnesota. They're both Northwoods League teams. And what I can do there on that weekend is I would stay part way at the camper. My parents, they go camping out in that area somewhere. So in northern Wisconsin. So it would kind of be a trip for that too, with family and everything. 8 Vaz and Mitch be the guinea pig. Yeah, it looked like it was a really good time there. I'm glad you guys got to do that. Always good to catch a game with friends. Excuse me. Another place on the radar would be the Memphis Redbirds, the Cardinals AAA team. Like I was saying earlier in the show, I was gonna go to the Memphis Redbirds game, but I couldn't go because of reasons with getting a ride and everything. The person I was gonna go with couldn't go to Tennessee or travel out of state at the time, just with COVID stuff, COVID rules. So I had to cancel that trip. But then I started thinking, I hadn't been to a Nashville Sounds game yet either. So I want to do that also. I want to get to Nashville for a AAA game. That stadium looks great. I've been outside of it, but never been in it. So I think this may be the year coming up to maybe go. We'll have to see how the schedule comes out. Another one that is on here. You won't. I might. You know what you won't does to me. You won't makes me end up in Atlanta on a 1-day planned trip. Another one on the list is the Field of Dreams game 2022. Gotta visit that again. Another MLB game in my home state. Gotta go to that again. This time it will be more well planned out and less stressful and very enjoyable, we'll say. Should be a good time. So planning ahead for it and all that good stuff. So you won't. Field of Dreams game 2022, Cubs and Reds. That should be another good one. I'll have to get time off again for that. Now this is just a crazy idea that I would love to do. I mean, it could be in the next few years. Honestly, I don't see this one happening next year, but it would be amazing if it did. I would love to see a game in the Pioneer League. So that's now a new independent league. And they used to be like a short A team, but they just recently, or rookie league, one or the other, but they just recently were all contracted and became an independent league. But I've seen some of the views at those stadiums, and it just looks amazing. Like with mountains in the background and everything. Looks like a great place to see a game. So that's another one on my radar. I'm guessing that one probably won't work next year, just with how far out west it is for me. But I would love to plan one sometime, maybe around a trip to one of those places. Another one that I haven't been to that I would like to is the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. They're a Brewers minor league team up in Appleton, kind of near Green Bay. It's probably about 4 hours away from me. And then also Beloit Snappers got a brand new stadium not too far away from here. Probably within 2 hours or so. And then to round off the list, At the bottom, I just added this one, Guaranteed Rate Field, which is the White Sox Stadium. I haven't been there for a few years now. I think it was 2013 was my last game there. I almost went there for the playoff game, but ended up not going. Had some things going on, so that was kind of when I decided to wait to see if the Braves were going to make the NLCS also for one last big game. So that was kind of what we waited for. We can definitely plan another game though sometime. There's always more games. So I'll just read them off quick again. Opening day, Indianapolis and Cincinnati, Kansas City Monarchs and Royals, Omaha Storm Chasers and Lincoln Salt Dogs, Minnesota Twins and St. Paul Saints, Schaumburg Boomers, Windy City Thunderbolts. That's another Frontier League team within the Chicago area. Lake Country Dockhounds. That's a brand new team that I want to go on opening weekend. That's in May. About the middle of May, I think, is their opening day. More Prospect League teams. A couple mentioned are in the St. Louis area. Eau Claire Express and Duluth Huskies, which is northern Wisconsin and Minnesota. Memphis Redbirds, Nashville Sounds, Field of Dreams game 2022, Pioneer League game if possible, Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, wow I can't talk, Beloit Snappers, and Guaranteed Rate Field. So these are just ideas that are on the radar. I'll have to look at schedules, see how reasonable those are to make, along with schedule or my schedule. Stuff like Indianapolis and Cincinnati are definitely very possible, though. You know, the closer to home and all that, the easier it is to do. So what I'll do is I'll get out about 4 or 5 league schedules and put them all together, put dates together, see who's at home, because some of these are 2 different leagues. Like Omaha and Lincoln would be AAA and independent, so we just got to line them up and compare. I might even do all that on stream just to show how I do that sometime. So those are some of the different ones I have in mind, and then other ones will come up. Like I'll just start searching for older stadiums that, you know, classic stadiums and things that are iconic and places to see. That's kind of how Evansville came up this year. I started looking up like old iconic stadiums that have a lot of great history. That's how both of the League of Their Own stadiums popped up, and I made a trip out of that. That was one of my top ones also. That's not really mentioned as much, but we'll get into that more. But yeah, that's kind of how I put things together. Start with ideas and wait for the schedules. Got to go to the College World Series. I never thought of that. That's another good one. So let's see. The other thing I have to do is line it up with my schedule and when I can like pull it off. Because usually I work with 3-day weekends, and using Mondays is kind of a stretch. Another thing about the college summer leagues, a lot of them take Monday off. Some other leagues even do that too. Monday is like their off day or travel day for the rest of the week. June 26th and 27th. So that one could definitely be on the radar for it. Have to see how that would fit in. But yeah, it mainly just is how it all fits together with my schedule and the league schedule, and usually takes me a night or two just to go through it all and compare and see what we want to do and put it all together in that way. As of right now, Iowa is up by 2. They may take the pig. They play for that trophy. Them and the Golden Gophers. Little League World Series? That's true. They got that MLB game there too. Let's see. August 21st. I can already tell that might not work just because of the Field of Dreams game. It's on a Sunday though. And then I would just have to map it and see how it would work best. That's kind of what I do with all this stuff. So we'll have to see. But yeah, that was the big recap on all the different places. We can go through each stadium if you guys want. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Go through each place I went to and do it in that way. We'll do it by the map. What in the world? Oh, okay. There we go. So, we're going to go on the actual map. Kind of go through each place that we went to. Sioux Falls Canaries was one of them. American Association. Sioux City Explorers in the same weekend. This is going to be Waterloo. Waterloo Bucks. Northwoods League. Field of Dreams. Clinton Lumber Kings. I'll probably be at a few of those games next year also, along with when they're on the road, hopefully. This is Modern Woodman Park, so Quad City River Bandits. This was the Iowa Hawkeyes game in Iowa City. That was a different trip. Pretty good read there too, though. A little bit different place that most people may not know about. Madison Mallards. NLDS Game 2. Brewers and Braves. Franklin Field, which is another American Association team, the Milkmen. They were the 2020 champions. That was Madison. No, that was home. Okay, Impact Field. Chicago Dogs. Kane County Cougars. That was another stadium I may be interested in visiting again. Just to get a good time lapse there. It's a great stadium to catch a game. Another former minor league team that was contracted. Gary South Shore Railcats. Pretty nice stadium. That was where I went to the 14-inning game. And then Normal Corn Belters. That was an interesting stadium. About 10 years old. A little over 10 years old. Used to be in the Frontier League. Robin Roberts Stadium. That's the Springfield Sliders in the Prospect League, along with another blog post in there that was outside of baseball, things to do in Springfield. Quincy Gems, that's a Prospect League team that my hometown team played at. Busch Stadium, St. Louis Cardinals, Cape Girardeau, Catfish. This one is for a college also. That's what you see here, Southeast Missouri. Bossy Field, which is in the movie A League of Their Own. Great stadium, classic stadium. Third oldest active professional baseball stadium behind Wrigley and Fenway. And it was in the movie A League of Their Own. In my opinion, would be the easiest place for MLB to bring a game to, because it's already made for professional baseball. It's already ready to go. Another great one for that would be here, League Stadium. It's another stadium from A League of Their Own. Great stadium. It's older also. Was in the movie. Just takes you back in time a little bit. Truist Park, Game 1 of the NLCS. It was a crazy game. Crazy playoff game. Crazy night. Crazy atmosphere. One of the best sporting events I've ever been to. Just the atmosphere of it was amazing. And that wasn't even the best one, in my opinion, because the week after they made the World Series, and the week after that they were about to again. Or they were about to win it. So, definitely a good read there. Little Rock, that was another really nice stadium. It was my first big game I had been to. So in that week, they announced, that was when they came out with the new recommendations about everything for the guidelines for the pandemic. And that was like kind of the first return to normalcy, I guess you could say. It felt weird walking around a huge crowd of people without, having to wear a mask and all that stuff. That was like the first weekend of it. And that was a great weekend. I had a great time that weekend. They have a really nice stadium there too. A lot of history there in that city. So then the other one was, well, this is one of them. We got to zoom way in here though, because they're neighbors. This was AT&T Stadium for the Cowboys game. Their fourth preseason game. Their last preseason game I went to. And I sat in the second row. Got some great footage there. And then right across the street is Globe Life Field, the new stadium for the Rangers, where I saw them play the Astros on a Friday night. Got some great footage there too. So those are all of the stadiums I visited in 2021. And they all have their own posts. Most of them have their own video with time-lapse. There are, let's see. Like Little Rock does not have a time-lapse. I did a little one in Cape. Let's see. Because I didn't have my GoPro yet. So, Gary did not. Kane County does not. Clinton does not. I don't think. Iowa City does not. Madison does not. And I think that's it. The rest of them do, for the most part. So, yeah, some pretty good stuff in there if you're interested in reading. That's the link there. If you're on YouTube, it's apballparks.com. That'll get you here to this website with all the posts on it. Can't really think of anything else to recap with it. I think we went through mostly everything. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'll go through those numbers again just to name them off again. And I will also make a blog post with all this. It'll be a recap blog with all the exact numbers, but we'll put this video with it. I am going to put the VOD on YouTube after it's been on here on Twitch for 24 hours. I'll probably put it up on Monday at noon is my guess, as long as I can go through it and everything. But again, 7,254 miles. By combining the trips, I saved about 400 miles of driving. So like Sioux City and Sioux Falls in one trip, for example. That saved me about 400 miles. Went to 11 total states, 23 ballparks, 6 in Iowa, 1 South Dakota, 5 Illinois, 3 Indiana, 2 Missouri, 1 Arkansas, 1 Georgia, 1 Texas, and 3 Wisconsin. We were at 10 total leagues visited. Of those leagues, we saw, was it? This is the one I didn't write down again. 6 championship teams in all of those, at all of those games, I saw 6 championship teams. Actually, I didn't even check one of them. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's accurate. Let's see. Saw the first MLB game in the state of Iowa, which was the Field of Dreams game. The very first Field of Dreams game. Nothing like the first one. Our longest streak of games visited in a row was 3 games. Hey, Major League Mike with the raid. Appreciate that. How was your stream tonight? Or today? Sorry, it's still daytime. Call of Duty Vanguard. Okay. How'd that go? By the way, I appreciate the Twitch drops. I hope my my packs go through. I claimed them. So we're just going through 2021 recap, Mike. I'll go through the numbers for you again. We just went through some of these, but I'll go ahead and read them off again. So we're just going through like the season recap of 2021. So I visited 11 states, 23 ballparks. Let's see. Total driven miles was 7,254. Went to, I think I already said that, 23 ballparks, 6 in Iowa, 1 South Dakota, 5 in Illinois, 3 Indiana, 2 Missouri, 1 Arkansas, 1 Georgia, 1 Texas, and 3 Wisconsin. 10 total leagues. Did we say 6 championship teams or 5? Somewhere in there. I think it was 6. 7 MLB playoff teams. The World Series champion Atlanta Braves. Saw the first MLB game in the state of Iowa. Longest streak of games in a row was 3 on a work weekend. 1 extra inning game. 6 walk-off wins. That's a crazy amount of walk-offs. Approximately, I would say this is within about 2 hours of being accurate. Because there were some of them, they weren't on the box scores. But 77 hours of games watched. And then in 2022, in a nutshell, I'd like to go to opening day for the first time ever. Indianapolis and Cincinnati, or Louisville, one or the other for the AAA game. Kansas City Monarchs and Kansas City Royals in one weekend. I'm all blurry. I just realized I need to fix that. I've probably been blurry for a while too and didn't even know it. That didn't fix it. Okay. There we go. Okay, so Omaha Storm Chasers and Lincoln Salt Dogs, Minnesota Twins, St. Paul Saints, Schaumburg Boomers, Windy City Thunderbolts, Lake Country Dockhounds on opening weekend. More Prospect League teams, possibly in the St. Louis area. Eau Claire Express and Duluth Huskies. Memphis Redbirds, Nashville Sounds, 2022 Field of Dreams game. This one's way out there, but would love to do it if I could make it to a Pioneer League game. Show that view of what it looks like out there, the scenery and everything. All I've ever heard about is how great the view is out there from the stadiums. So definitely hoping to do that. Even if it doesn't happen in 2022, I can plan ahead for another season. Hey, welcome in. How's it going? We're just doing a little season recap right now. Another team, or another stadium, Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, kind of near Green Bay there. Not far from Lambeau Field. Beloit Snappers new stadium. And Guaranteed Rate Field, home of the Giggities. Dirty Dan was helping me put Streamlabs together. Oh, okay. Nice. You getting all set up for streaming then? Or testing it out, I see. Trying to put the Grit Gaming logo in? Oh, okay. Donnie said it'd be okay. Oh yeah, definitely. So are you trying to put like the picture in then or something? I haven't really said much about it, but we do have the stream team now. Grit Gaming. That is hosted by Donnie. And this is our logo. So, that was started by Donnie, though, and I appreciate him starting that and letting me do the logo for it. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of tough. I really just wanted to take Mitch's GG and make it into A's colors, but that is one of a kind. The world's biggest GG logo right there. We couldn't alter that. But we've got, oh, by the way, we have follower emotes now. So if you are not subbed, we have these emotes. Yeah, Mitch found him. I don't know if, does anybody know, can you use follower emotes in other streams? So that's the other thing I'm not sure of. Oh, thank you, Gigadees. I appreciate that. Yeah, I definitely need to, put him out there too. Put his, shout out there too. Won't follow any more streamers. No, you cannot? Oh. So we can't even use the AP raid emotes then, the way I have them. You can't use them on mobile? That's strange. They should just be under channel emotes, Gigadees. They don't work for you? So, oh, that's weird. It's in a beta phase, so hopefully they, work on that. I think we're going to move the AP raid one with, something different in here. Maybe we'll make Chessman a follower emote or something. I'll have to look at it. But, Gigadees, look at the name of this one. I think you'll find enjoyment in that one. One thing about the follower emotes that I would like to see is, like, if you could use them in other streams. I knew you'd like that one. Mobile can't see them? That's weird. Yeah, hopefully that's just a beta thing then. So, if you can't see them, these are my follower emotes. Speaking of sus, there's Truckin'. How's it going, Truckin'? We're just talking recap of the 21 season. Different ballparks visited and everything. The ultimate sus is here. The sus king. So yeah, we're just hanging out right now, finishing up. If there's anything anyone's interested in or questions, I would love to answer them about the 2021 season. Especially if it's related to traveling or anything like that with different stadiums I've been to. If you are into traveling, I do recommend, like, if you have a week off in the summer to visit new ballparks, the Midwest is a great area for it. It may be pretty humid out, but definitely some great places in like small areas to see. Like if you're going to the Field of Dreams, for example, you could go over to Waterloo. That's not far at all, or any of those other Iowa stadiums, really. Des Moines really isn't too terribly far away either, and that's a AAA stadium. It's all pretty reasonable. So, I do recommend the Midwest, though. Even if it's like Illinois or Indiana has a few. Ohio's a pretty good area, too. Like all those places. Missouri. All great areas for it. It helps with knocking out multiple stadiums in one trip. And the Hawkeyes win 27-22. We can take that down. But anytime I've done the traveling and everything, it's always been to try and get to the most places in one little area as possible. just to get the most out of that trip. We are going to talk about that a little more in detail in another episode. That way I can kind of split everything up too for different episodes for everyone on YouTube also. Hey, appreciate that, Mike. Thank you. By the way, everybody that just joined in, look later tonight, midnight Central Time, I'll be doing 2 giveaways. And before that, we'll be having a good little time. I'm actually gonna probably raid out here pretty soon and get ready for that. That's true. That's very true. I am planning to raid out though pretty soon here, and then we can go ahead and I'm just gonna take a little break between, kind of change gears a little bit, get ready for the birthday stream. I was planning on doing this stream last night, and I wanted to do a little bit earlier in the evening, but didn't really work out. Had work things come up, worked a little later, so then I just ended up working on the MLB content since it was too late. Yeah, I did a pretty good dent in that, by the way. I don't think I'm quite halfway to the inning boss yet, but I'm getting there. So, that's pretty good. Hey, there you go, Iceman. The Maple Leafs put a goal up. Yeah, there's gonna be 2 giveaways, though. One for non-subs, and then another for subs. Those will be at midnight Central Time. And, yeah, we'll do the birthday celebration here real soon, though, is the plan. So, let's see what's going on here. Speaking of Donnie, he is... he's got the Donnie cast going on, he calls it. So, I think we're gonna go pay him a visit. Usually Donnie's on at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and we usually don't see him anymore this time of night. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pay Donnie a visit here real soon. I would say that I should be back in about an hour or so. Maybe 2 hours at most. I just gotta change gears a little bit, kinda get things ready for the night. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Birthday celebration. We're gonna have some games with viewers. Anything that anyone wants to suggest for that, we can do it. I would love to play golf with friends. That's in the Steam store, and people with Game Pass can play that too. If we can get enough people, I'll buy it. Not quite that, but yeah, we'll have 2 giveaways at midnight. One for followers, one for subs. It's on my Discord and my Twitter what the winnings are for that. We'll have 6 winners. We're gonna have a little wheel. The wheel is gonna be a nice little surprise when that starts up. But yeah, viewer games, or games with viewers, all that good stuff. Whatever we want to do, basically. So, be on the lookout for that. I do appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out. If there are any questions about any of this stuff, ever really, just, shoot me a message, or I could answer it right now, about the 2021 season. It was a huge year. It was really, first big year of this, I hope, with many more to, follow. I'm hoping this was just the beginning, so we'll see what happens. A lot of big ballparks this year. I will go in depth with them, kind of show all the different things that make them unique throughout the off season. That way we've got plenty of things to go through throughout the winter. We'll probably talk MLB news a little more too throughout that. Free agency, CBA, all that good stuff. We'll talk a little bit more about different leagues, why I prefer them, especially like what we talked about earlier, that good little conversation about variety. We'll go more in depth about all of that throughout this. So if there are no questions, I think we're going to go ahead and send it Donnie's way.